So I want to announce that I have officially launched a Patreon. This is another way to support me as a content creator and also be able to get extra benefits. For example, if you want to know who will be the next guest on the Beat Talk podcast, as well as be able to directly ask them questions for the interview, be able to watch Beat Talk podcast episodes earlier than anyone else, as well as some other benefits, then you can do so by subscribing to my Patreon and get all of the benefits. If you want to be a member, then check the first link in the description. And with that out of the way, enjoy episode 15 featuring Spazza17. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Beat Talk podcast. Today we have a reoccurring guest. We have the one and only silly man from Wooting, content creator himself, Spazza. How are you doing, man?
Hey man, how you doing? What's up? What's going on?
Nothing much, just chilling at home at the moment. It's 4:40 p.m. for both of us at the moment, and we're trying to have a chill talk, see what you've been up to as of recent. I think a lot of people are interested since we'll get into that a bit later, but you haven't been active in the Osu community as some people may want, unfortunately.
Well, not as much as some may think, but I may surprise you. We'll see, we'll see.
Pause. We'll talk about it. But yeah, so let's start it off then. So first, the most very basic question that I ask everyone: how are you doing as of recent, man? What's been up to you? What have you been up to as of recent?
As of recently, honestly, it's been pretty fantastic. I think overall 2025 will go down as probably my best year ever,
Oh,
straight up
okay.
ever, because I had a lot of cool experiences, which we can talk about later if you like. But as of now, early 2026, I'm chilling, relaxing, just doing my thing, working. I started doing a few more things which are pretty interesting.
Ooh, any hobbies
So
or something?
yeah, so I've actually picked up VR, which is
Ooh,
something that I think I
okay.
maybe mentioned last time, but Beat Saber, it's a great game,
Oh,
man.
oh,
I
hell
love it
yeah.
a lot.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
But the only problem is I had a Meta Quest and I absolutely hate the Meta Quest because it's buggy, it doesn't work. So I just sold it and I'm patiently waiting on the Steam frame.
Ooh, the
Once that bad
Steve
boy
Ray.
arrives,
Yeah,
when that arrives, oh, I'll be there. I'll be ready to
that will
go.
be cinema. Isn't that with like, isn't that technically like its own PC or it's like its own system from what I remember?
Yeah, it's a standalone VR, so it actually has its own system that I believe is based on Linux. But that's the same for the Meta Quest, except the system sucks because it's from Meta, so it
Yeah.
breaks half the time. And I mean, I just don't want to give my stuff to Mr. Zuckerberg out there. So
The Zuck. Yep.
yeah,
Valve
the
have
Zook.
optimized the Linux system for like gaming and everything, so it's gonna be interesting to see when that releases. Though, also the
Oh
pricing
yeah,
is really
actually,
interesting. Yeah.
it's funny because again, I don't want to be a fanboy, but this is also a purchase that was made.
Yo, no way, the Steam
Yeah,
Deck.
boy. Yeah, boy got a Steam Deck.
Hell
And you know
yeah.
what's funny?
How often do
I'm
you
not
use it?
even
Actually, continue, continue.
I'm not even using it for gaming.
What? For
The
what then?
reason the reason that I have a Steam frame is because in this apartment I don't have a second monitor, so I just use it as a second monitor first and foremost.
What?
And secondly, whenever I fly, which is pretty often, I'm traveling a lot. I actually use it to watch anime instead of doing it on my phone, which is way too small and doesn't
Okay,
work.
okay, peak. Is that the OLED version, by the way? That's what I wanted to ask.
In order to enjoy the anime, I gotta have the OLED version.
Peak, 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 peak. You know what? I'll give you the pass. I'll give you the pass. You know that's valid. That's
Listen,
valid.
I played one game on it while I was on a train trip in Poland. But other than that, I've just been watching anime. So
What?
it's pretty fantastic. I mean, it's a great device and the
Mhm.
battery is crazy. So I'm hoping for the Steam frame. I'm just waiting. Gaben, my wallet is ready.
What's the game you played, by the way? If you remember.
So it was called VVVVVV.
VVVVV. What?
Yeah, just 6 Vs. It's a puzzle game. It's
Ah,
pretty
okay.
entertaining. It's pretty
B-
cute
Bro,
pixel art.
bro played a mobile game on his Steam Deck. Oh hell no! Oh hell
Basically, straight
no!
up. Actually, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it runs on mobile as well because it's
o-
such a light game.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, uh, up to you. But to be fair, it is a valid choice to get like a OLED screen, to watch, certain series. So I completely understand like the reason you got it. To be fair.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Speaking of games, though, have you been playing
Ooh.
Osu as of recent?
Yes, also Taiko.
Also
That
Taiko?
will be.
That's
Yes, yes,
only
indeed.
only Taiko? How come?
Well, okay, so I've actually been playing some also standard, but it's really mostly for testing purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So again, now I don't want this podcast to turn into a Wooting advertisement, but of course everybody knows
I
I
mean,
work for Wooting.
either way, we'll
So
have like routing questions. I mean, one of the reasons you kind of haven't been like active in the user community as in terms of like uploads. We'll get into that, but like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But well, okay, everybody knows I work for Wooting, right? So that means I get to test various keyboards and maybe switches. Maybe I have to give some feedback or whatever. So I will play also for work purposes.
mm-hmm,
So to test certain things or maybe give my impressions on a certain like the feel of something. Now I can't quite get into it because I have NDAs and things like that.
okay, okay,
So hopefully I will not get in trouble. But sometimes for work purposes, I will be playing also standard. But when it comes to doing it in my own free time, I don't really have any real incentive to do so. I don't
or
have any particular motivation. I
uh
mean,
huh,
uh, this is actually a very interesting topic because, funnily enough, a few months ago, I actually had an interesting discussion with some of the Italian members of the OSU community.
mm-hmm,
So, people who I've known for more than 10 years now. We're talking way before I ever became a content creator or I was even making videos in English, right?
mm-hmm,
So, I've actually, out of curiosity, checked all my stats to see when really was the last time that I was active as an OSU player, first and foremost. And as it turns out, and I have the sheet in front of me right now.
ooh,
Basically, my most active my most active year of all time was 2015, because
2015,
that
literally like the
yes,
start of your also the journey, which is interesting.
yeah, that's basically when I started playing, and then I in 2016, that's when I had 16,000 play count in a year, which to me is a lot. And that's also when I became a free digit, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So then 2017, 2018, I started playing a bit less. But then 2019, that's when I became a two digit.
Ah, yeah,
So once again, I started playing a lot, improved a lot, and then after 2019 it went downhill. Like I haven't reached
yeah.
10,000 play count yearly since 2019. So that's
That
really the last time that I was active as an osu player.
that is actually kind of crazy, and the fact that you had all of that prepared is kind of crazy. Bro predicted the interview.
I know, right? Well, that's pretty cool then.
Okay, fair,
I guess
fair.
I anticipated that.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, we kind of knew that since if I mean it specifically people that follow you knew that since they knew that you haven't been playing the game as much, but you've been still following the community a decent amount. I think you still follow it actively, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I really do. But the thing is, most people they don't even know that I ever used to play the game is the thing. So there's no real loss there. Because
Yeah,
many people, the only way they found out about me was from 2020 onward, because that's, well, of course, we all know what happened in 2020, right?
those who
So
know.
for one reason or the other, we were all stuck in our homes, and that's when I decided to actually, get a webcam and start making videos and stuff. So that's really where people found out. Um, so I guess like in the mind of the general Osu community, I've always been that content creator guy who also happens to be kind of decent at Osu, but like the actual Osu gameplay was always a secondary thing. I was never like a bubble man or, another top player who actually
Yeah.
turned into a content creator. It was kind of the opposite. So,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
mostly known as a content creator in this community, which is, I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
a pretty respected figure in the user community as well. So you can't deny
Well,
that.
thank you.
You can't deny that. Okay, let's start with the actual, different questions from the previous interview, let's say. So it's been a year since you've joined Wooting now, as a content creator for the company. So how's your experience been so far with working for the company in general?
Oh, it's been pretty great, man. I think I got very lucky in
Mm-hmm.
terms of timing because when I joined Wooting, we are still expanding. Like, we're hiring a lot of new people. So there's a lot of new faces coming in. But especially in 2025, because as you said, I joined exactly in April 2025. So we're
Yeah.
actually like 1 year after. Um, there was just a series of crazy coincidences where I actually, because I joined Wooting in April of
Mm-hmm.
2025, I got to do so many things that I wouldn't have otherwise done.
Oh,
So, for instance, I traveled to China multiple times
multiple
for work.
times. I knew you traveled once, but I didn't know you traveled like multiple times. That is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so now that the cat's out of the bag and I can reveal everything, the first time I went to China because I spent about a week with Tens
Ooh.
to actually record all the footage that you saw from the Wooting ATHE Tens Takeover Edition.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, imagine I get hired and a few months later I get told I have to travel to China in order to film with Tens.
Tens.
And
That is actually crazy if you think about it. I mean, you were technically the cameraman, right?
I was.
Yeah.
Um, I was the cameraman along with Sander. Of course, we also worked on miking up tents, all the photo shoot stuff. There was a lot of crazy stuff that went down
Mm-hmm.
during that week, but it was a crazy experience. And what's funny is, by the way, I wasn't starstruck at all because I didn't know who Tens was. I only
What?
knew that.
What? No way, man.
Yeah, because I wasn't overly familiar with Valorant, so
Uh-huh.
I knew he was a good player, but I had no idea he was the goat, basically. So, when I met him, it was just like, hey, what's up? And we we had
Just,
dinner together, and
yeah, just a casual conversation with someone who happens to be one of the greatest players in Valorant. Okay, okay.
yeah, and what's funny, by the way, I was over there with my boss Calder,
Shout out to Calder.
who very kindly said, "Well, actually, our content creator is a pro Osu player," and so Tens was asking me, "Wait, you're good at Osu?" And I'm like, "Well,
Oh.
yeah, I used to be pretty good." And so he asks me, "Well, what was your peak rank?" And I'm like, "Top 100." And Tens goes, "Holy shit, you were a top player! Oh my god, what?"
No
So
way.
he was asking me for advice on how to play Osu.
What? That is that is that is interesting. That is an interesting story. Okay, okay. Shout out to Tens,
And
I guess.
shout out to Tens, of course.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. And a few months ago, I actually went to Poland for Kel 4, which is an also Polish LAN, which I'm pretty sure you were also there in the chat watching the matches. It was
From time
absolute
to
cinema.
time, yeah. Yeah. That
But
was absolute cinema, man. Yeah.
yeah, and I was talking to Shiba, the Osu commentator, the Osu caster, who also always casts the Osu World Cup, and he's a huge Valorant fan. So as soon as we were just talking, and I casually mentioned, "Oh yeah, Tens, I know that guy. I met him," and he's like, "You met Tens? Oh!" And I'm like, Yes, I didn't know who he was. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Bro was probably flabbergasted and disappointed you didn't know who he was.
I think he was actually so cool with that because I imagine he has a lot of fanboys or people who are kind of starstruck. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just I just acted like some guy. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, I
It was
mean
a good time. It was a
that
good
is an
time.
awesome story. That is a really awesome story. Just casually talking with Tens and him being amazed about your also skills. That is like
That's unbelievable stuff right
that
there.
is
Put that in my
actually
resume.
right there, bro, in your resume.
But
Okay.
so that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, other than this, I also traveled to, like, over the course of 1 year, mind you, I went to Germany, Netherlands, of course, for
Y-
COE,
Yeah, obviously.
uh, China multiple times, Taiwan, and Japan.
The Japan one, I do remember that. Uh, I think you posted photos as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I spent a week in Tokyo, which wasn't work related, by the way, but it was on my way to Taiwan, which was a work related thing. So, overall, just a fantastic year, really. Possibly the
Yeah.
best ever.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome to hear. Uh, I mean, you mentioned traveling, but would you say that that's like your favorite thing about working with Wooting so far? Like the traveling and just networking and everything like that?
I wouldn't really say networking because whenever we travel, we okay. I guess we do go to a lot of different conventions, so there is a lot of marketing talk, just talking to other companies, meeting other people in the same space, which is always
Yeah.
kind of interesting. But I think the more fun thing about traveling is just meeting with my colleagues because Wooting is a fully remote company,
Oh
which
yeah.
means that we don't really have an office, especially not in Europe. There is one in Taipei, but that's for select staff
Mm-hmm.
basically.
In
And
Taipei,
so
I never knew that.
yeah, it's pretty cool to just finally meet your colleagues who you talk to every day. It's kind of like having a Discord group and then all of a sudden you just meet up IRL. You just immediately click and it's
Yeah, you're
really, really
like,
fun.
yo, what's up? How you
Hey,
doing?
what's up,
Yeah,
man?
yeah, yeah. And you're like, yeah, you like talk with them remotely all this time, and you finally like meet them and talk with them and everything like that. I mean,
It's pretty awesome stuff, man.
yeah.
But I wouldn't say traveling is the best part of my job because obviously, okay, I did mention that I traveled a lot because of all the conventions, but it's not like that's a major part of my work. I don't
Mm-hmm.
actually travel all that much in the grand scheme of things. So I'd say the coolest thing is just being able to get my hands on samples and projects before they come
Yeah,
out to the
yeah, yeah.
public, and I can give my feedback, and of course I can shift certain things, modify how things are created, and it feels mind-blowing because you know we're talking about Wooting products which to
Yeah.
me are very, very high tier, and I actually get to see how they get produced and just work towards them.
Speaking of products, you've probably like tested like every single product of Wooting so far, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Which one do you find using the most so far?
Well, right now I'm using the ATHE.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main keyboard.
Yeah.
So still to this day,
Yeah, I think you've mentioned it previously, like you've always liked the 80% factor for keyboards, so not that surprising, to be fair. But
yeah, I do
still wanted
enjoy
to
the
ask.
60,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like for me personally, for my workflow, because I do video editing stuff, it's just more convenient to have those keys and I already know where they are, so I don't have to really adapt or think about them. Whereas on a 60, of course, you can use utility,
Yeah,
not an advert,
yeah, you can
but you
do.
can, of course, all do all the shortcuts, etc. But I just want to really be there, be ready, and so the 80 works for me.
Yeah, those having those shortcuts on your hand already is pretty useful. I mean, you can technically just do like, as you said with utility, set up certain keys together to maybe do something, but that sometimes the takes a bit more handwork, let's say.
I guess.
Yeah, you can, I guess, say it like that. What I wanted to ask though is that throughout your content creation, journey so far, you've obviously had to edit videos. You are obviously a video editor. So, would you say that your editing skills have improved drastically over the time you've worked with Wooting so far?
Absolutely, because I've stepped away from Adobe and I've entered the world of DaVinci Resolve. I've been
Holy,
converted.
no way,
And
no way.
yeah, so from a purely technical standpoint, I've definitely learned a lot of new things because whenever you start a new editing program, you must challenge all the things that come with it, right? And DaVinci is quite complex compared to something like Adobe Premiere, at least in my experience. So you kind of have to work towards that. But in my case, from a more practical standpoint, I've also shifted to, for example, working with 10-bit files,
Mm-hmm.
which again this might be video editor jargon to you guys, but it's basically much heavier files which have a lot more information, and so you have to, instead of having a video that's already colored, it's almost like shooting in raw, where you
Hmm.
have no colors, and so you have to learn color grading, for example.
Oh,
And
that's a bit more advanced then. That's definitely
yeah,
a bit
and you
more
can
advanced.
stretch, for example, the white balance, and more things like that. So I had to learn to use my camera further from that point of view, and of course I used other equipment like gimbals or other ways of stabilizing.
Hmm.
It's just a lot of very cool things, once again, that I got the chance of working on, because of course, my actual, when it comes to my daily activities, it's related to creating short form content for the most part for all the Wooting social media channels, where most of the time you don't really need all those fancy camera grading things, because in the end it's a vertical shot that someone is going to look at and then scroll away,
Scroll away, yeah, obviously. I mean,
But for other bigger projects where I work alongside the other content creator who's Sander, we've worked together. We share files all the time, and I mean, the perfect example is the latest Silicon Case video where we basically collaborated to have the same exact theme, but he was up there in the Alps and I was down here at the beach.
yeah,
So
so you had to basically, I guess, join them somehow, and talk it through.
yeah, like we worked on the script together, and then we kind of figured out which angles we were gonna take in order to have an harmony between the two parts, because if one is too different, then the other one is not gonna mesh well. It's a
Yeah.
lot of very small things which you don't really see when you see the final video, but that's the thing. If you don't see them, it means that we did a good job.
Yep, true. I mean, to be fair, that's like kind of common when it comes to like content creation. There is some stuff that when you start editing, you only notice and nobody else. But like those minor stuff, when you notice them, you're like, damn it, I could have done something better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I go crazy over those small details, but
Yeah.
to summarize, I'd say, yeah, from a professional standpoint, it's been a very uh, engaging adventure, because I got the chance to step outside my comfort zone way more than I could have ever expected.
Yeah, absolutely. But something that also comes with working, for a company is like, this is the question that I wanted to ask specifically. How much creative freedom do you have over the content you make for Wooting?
Well, I maybe too much.
Too much, would you say? I mean, to be fair, there are
Because
some shit posts sometimes I've seen on the Wooting channel as well, which like, I can find pretty funny, but I still wanted to ask.
yeah, no, there's really no limits, to be honest. We are a very dynamic team, and so many times, so okay, just to give some context, the way that we work on videos, we follow a schedule, so we have an idea of what has to be published in a certain period of time, and those can be related to certain marketing campaigns that we're running, or maybe if there's an upcoming product, then we already know that by the time the product drops, we're going to have X amount of content ready to be published, in essence. But many times we have those communication channels, almost like a Discord server, like on Slack. It's another chatting platform.
Oh yeah, Slack. That's a pretty popular one, not just for work, but like I mean, to be fair, it's for like a work environment, let's say. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And we have a channel dedicated to content where all of my colleagues send me like memes or edits that they see, things that just come up on their timeline, and then we can use that as an inspiration. And so many times I'm just making memes, basically.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's how you also come up with the ideas for the videos, just like scrolling through the internet, just saying, maybe this could be a cool Wooting meme shitpost, whatever the hell it may be. You
Well,
know?
yeah, of course you have to keep an eye on what's going on the social media landscape, because if there's a certain trend that's going on right now, it's good to just interject it and kind of make it yours. Now, of course, it's not as easy as just joining any random meme, because we all know that that's going to give you a lot of views, but in the end it doesn't really stick. It doesn't have a lot
Yeah.
of staying power. So usually what I like to do is, even if there is a trend I'm trying to interject, we still make it ours, whether it's by
Yeah, yeah.
introducing our editing style, or maybe actually have a proper means to reach that meme. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
just some algorithm farming.
Yeah, like an example I can give probably that you've done recently is the DLSS 5 meme that y'all did with Switchy. Like that was a that
Yes,
was a rather
yes.
funny one, yeah. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a good
because
one.
again, it's poking fun, obviously, at the ridiculousness of that whole Nvidia feature, but also kind of staying in touch, because it's again, that Switch image is also an inside joke on our own Discord community, so
Yeah.
it all comes together, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, I have a lot of freedom when it comes to my creative work, which is great, because otherwise I'd feel pretty bad.
Yeah, shout out to Switchy. I have him right here.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. That's absolutely amazing though. The ability to have that much creative freedom in a company like that. But something that I've also wanted to ask related to content is like how much do you community reactions in terms on like the comment section and everything like that influence the types of videos you make for the Wooting brand in general? Does it have any influence or maybe not?
So this is an interesting topic, because I'm pretty detached by now, because I've been making content for more than 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I started when I was a little kid, so I've gotten used to any types of feedback, from very positive to very, very early internet negative feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a very strange relationship with it. I definitely read all the comments, because it's part of my work. So I have to understand whether my edits or my normal videos are really hitting the community, and getting the good vibes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so when it comes to that, I definitely give importance to it, but I wouldn't say it's to the point where maybe I get stressed over it, or too bothered, because in the end, there's a lot of elements to it, because sometimes even if you make a good video or a good marketing campaign, you will have people who hate us in the comments
Like
just
regard
because we're wooting.
yeah, regardless of like whether the video is good or not, basically.
Yeah, and it's again, it's different layers, but it's always very funny, because first of all, it's always the same 10 users basically who are very
Yeah.
loud, but we
Yeah.
don't ban anybody. So you there's always this one guy, 9 times out of 10 he will leave a comment like, oh, Wooting is overpriced nowadays. You can get the insert Chinese brand that's like $60. You can get this and it's the same thing. And then everybody
Yeah.
in the comments replies, no, that's not true. And oh, you're a fanboy, blah, blah, blah. Free
Mm,
engagement, I guess. So thanks for that. But,
The
I
W
don't lose
bait?
sleep over it.
W bait?
I don't lose sleep over it, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. But it does definitely have at least, I mean, not the hate comments, but like specifically people that like regularly follow your videos. I'm guessing those types of comments, like that is at least some type of criticism to have an effect as to what videos you make, right?
I'd say so, yeah, because now this is not my own channel.
Yeah,
It's a
obviously.
company, so obviously I have to think of that and make videos for the community that follows us and for the new community of gamers and people in the upcoming sphere. Uh, in my own YouTube channel, I'm completely detached.
Yeah,
Whenever I used to make videos, I really wouldn't care about hate comments, and most of the time I wouldn't even reply.
fair enough,
So that's
honestly.
never been a problem for me. But for Wooting, I care way more. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you are essentially representing the brand, so you have to care.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so the final question that I have related to Wooting stuff is what are some like gaming communities you notice that are like interested in Wooting products the most as of recent? I mean, obviously Osu is one of them, but like what else have you noticed?
So I think one community that's very, very interesting to me because I don't know a whole lot about it has to do with esports specifically.
Ooh.
Because esports, as we know, is a huge, huge industry. And we've seen, I mean, again, I'm not an expert when it comes to all this stuff. I mean, hell, I didn't know who Tens was. So that gives you an idea of like my level of following the esports scene, especially with the very popular games, which are, of course, Valorant. League of Legends is a big one.
Yeah. Wait, League of Legends has interest in the Wooting? In like Wooting products? That's interesting.
Oh no, I'm talking about esports in
Oh, just in
general
general. Okay, okay,
because I
okay.
don't believe you play uh, League of Legends using a keyboard. You do using a mouse.
I mean,
But
to
there was this new thing that was introduced not too long ago where you can actually play on keyboard.
Yeah,
And so
movement with like WASD. That's like pretty new
yeah,
to the game as
exactly.
well.
Yeah, so when that came out, it revealed a very interesting side of the League of Legends community that actually cares about peripherals and all those things. So that was an interesting experience, I suppose, for Wooting. But overall, I'd say just in general, esports is a very interesting field because, again, and this is not some type of ad or whatever, but for esports, you want to have the best of the best. So it's no wonder that even those huge esport teams who maybe have big sponsors and have brands that pay them in order to use their keyboard, many times you'll see them and they will actually use a Wooting
Wooting, yeah.
regardless.
Yep.
So
I mean,
that's how you get a lot of eyes on it, I'd
didn't
say.
y'all recently also have like a advertisement for Apex Legends, if I'm not mistaken? I think you even voiced it or something like that.
Oh yeah, so I made a series of advertisements related to various different games where we think there is a benefit to using Wooting products. So it was Apex Legends, Valorant, of course,
GD as well.
CS, GD. Yes, that
Yeah.
that was a very interesting one.
Yeah, yeah.
And but also, we don't now stepping aside from the esports stuff, we also care about much smaller games or other more niche communities. So, for example, we made this video about Tetrio, which is
Oh
very interesting
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
one of my colleagues is actually a very, very good Tetrio player, Doremi level. And by the way, they know Doremi,
Yeah.
Ikoro.
What? They do
So,
Doremi? Holy. I mean, to be fair,
yeah,
Doremi is a big name in that community as well, so
yeah, in
yeah.
the Tetris community in general. Or, for example, also Trackmania, because obviously you can use the analog controls for, for your keyboard to act like a controller. So overall, there's a lot of different games, but I'd say yeah, the esports stuff is very interesting because I don't know too much about it, and it's always very intriguing to see all those communities and all those very good players who make thousands of people cheer just using our product right there.
Yep. Yeah, that is interesting to hear as well. Like even MOBA games use Wooting. That is something interesting to say.
I suppose some do, yeah.
Yep. Okay, now that was like my final question related to Wooting, and now I have a bit of a funny, silly question. So you yourself are Italian, of course, by
Yes.
nationality. I asked this question to Emmerich, and I'll ask this question to you as well.
All right.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I mean,
As a representative of the Italian nation.
yes.
What?
I
No,
will say it.
no
At this
way.
point,
No way.
I don't care anymore. Do whatever you want. Put pineapple on pizza. It's your own taste. I don't judge you. And you
Holy.
know what changed my mind?
What?
I traveled to China and I had a taste of a pineapple durian pizza.
What in the hell is that, man? Pineapple durian pizza. Was it
And you
good
know
at
what?
least?
No, but still, at least I tried it. So at the end of the day, you can enjoy it, you can not enjoy it. Now, of course, now if I'm serious for a second, it was not a proper pizza. It's like a dessert pizza, right?
Hmm.
Because it's like durian is a fruit.
Yeah.
So combine that with pineapple, it's almost like it's not like one of those weird Korean sweet and savory
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
pizzas.
yeah.
I'm not there yet, but I have a colleague from Korea who always sends me those pizzas, and I'm like, nah, man. You gotta take that chocomint off the pizza, okay? Now we're going way too far with the Koreans, but
Chocomint?
pineapple, comparatively, it's completely fine. It's
Chocomint?
all right
Chocomint? Also reference? Chocomint?
when you
Shige?
hear it.
When you hear it? Okay. So, Spazza, it's time to address the elephant in the room.
Ooh, okay.
Why haven't you been active, man? What's been happening? Why no videos on your main YouTube channel, despite still working for Wooting? Is it completely the reason as to why you haven't been active on your YouTube channel, or is there more to it?
So this is quite interesting, and you got me because
Caught,
the
caught,
other day caught caught
caught.
because I was
Yeah.
looking at my last video the other day. Thank you for everything, where I kind of explained how I had gotten this job basically, and in that video, the past me said, "Oh, by the way, that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop making content. Hey, look forward to the Kel vlog." Uh, yes.
The kill vlog in question, by the way.
So okay, now honestly, people make the assumption that when someone gets a full-time job, that means it's over. You like that's what you do. You no longer have any free time. You just work and then start a family and whatever. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
not really
Joe.
it's not really like that because again, for the exception of very little jobs, I'd like to think most jobs have a limited amount of time that you have to dedicate. So let's say you get in the classic 9 to 5, you start 9 a.m., have lunch, you finish at 5 or 6, you still have almost half of your day to do whatever you want, right? So that is the case for Wooting as well. And if anything, Wooting really promotes a very balanced lifestyle because we are a fully remote company, so we can manage our own schedules and we can basically work in whichever way we please. There's no need to commute or do anything like that, which is already a blessing in itself for me as someone who traveled to university every day.
Yeah.
Um, but so I do still have a lot of free time. But the thing is, and this is quite an interesting conundrum. When you work creatively, you are satisfied with, for example, writing a script, shooting a video, editing a video. That's what I like to do, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, when I was working other jobs that I hate, like when I was a waiter, or when, for example, I was studying in university, content creation for me was the escape, the creative escape from all the things that I hate. So, you know, imagine I'm in university, I'm super bored, I'm completely tired. I just want to go back home and make a YouTube video because I know that is engaging. I know that it's fun. I know that I'm going to be happy if I do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing, right? Now, considering that making videos has become my full-time job, meaning I get the opportunity to work creatively every single day from, morning to the afternoon. After I'm done with work, I'm feeling completely creatively satisfied. So after I'm done, if I spend all day making a video, after I'm done working, I'm not gonna start editing another video because I'm already like that part of my brain has already been satisfied.
Yeah,
So now I can
you sort of just want
I
to
can
take.
occupy, yeah, like the rest of my day I just want to occupy it doing something else. So if anything, I've picked up a lot of things that I had stopped doing. So for example, I started going on more walks, sports, of course other rhythm games, because I don't know if you can see back there, but that's actually a taiko drum
Wait,
right
that's a.
there.
Oh, but it's covered by a Wooting. Ooh, hidden sponsorship estimation.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I started playing Taiko no Tatsujin, the actual drum game, Taiko Osu Taiko, and as I mentioned earlier, Beat Saber. So these are kind of, that's the gaming part being satisfied, I guess. But really, that's the reason why I stopped making videos on my YouTube channel, because I'm already making so many videos and I'm already so happy doing what I do. I don't really, I don't feel like just going out of my way to make more content and just burn out, or make videos just for the sake of making a video. It doesn't really make much sense for me.
Yeah, but regardless of that, do you plan on, making videos again, regardless of, this happening?
No, not really, no.
Hmm.
Because I actually, so this is another thing, right? I mentioned earlier that I'm still active in the osu community, and that's in more ways than one. Now, again, I can't quite, talk about it right now,
Uh-huh.
but uh, let's just say I'm still involved in more ways than one that go beyond just the surface level of making videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about that in a very generic way, but I can also say, for example, and you are a great example of this.
Mm-hmm.
Every time some also content creator gets in touch with Wooting for a sponsorship, or every time some tournament wants to have prizes or things like that, obviously because I'm in the Wooting marketing team, that email comes to me. And so
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, if my colleague says, hey, this osu tournament got in touch with me, what should we do? I say, of course, just let's sponsor them. So we're sponsoring a lot of people and a lot of creators, so I'm
Caught?
still giving back
Caught?
to the community.
Caught? Those who know, caught?
So that's my own little way of doing it, I guess. Just helping people with sponsorship stuff, sponsorship deals.
Hmm.
Very recently, in fact, during those few days that we're recording this, I don't know when this will be uploaded, but the roundtable that's currently happening in LA is actually sponsored
Sponsored by
by
Woot.
us.
Yeah, I think people know that already because they did see Wooting employees as well in the streams that Ed was doing recently. The one yesterday, for example, there were like some employees there. They were also analyzing some person's like he had like some sort of a wrist rest for like the Wooting Uwu, which was interesting. They were starting to like analyze it for something, potentially a product or anything. We'll see, but it did look
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. So I still contribute to the OSU community in a lot of ways, some of which are more evident from the roundtable. Of course, last year there was COE, which was entirely sponsored by us. We gave away
Yeah,
so many things, and it was just a fantastic time. Same goes for content creators, reviewers, and tournaments. These are the more visible things, but for myself, I can say there is some things which will be coming for the OSU
cooking,
community. Don't
cooking,
worry about it.
cooking in the background. Okay, okay, we'll see. I mean,
Okay, okay. Yes, sir.
you can kind of say you're sort of like in a similar position to what the Poon is kind of doing, since like you may not be active as in like your own content, but you're still fairly active in the OSA community with other related events and stuff like that, if you know what I mean.
I so the thing about Poon is that he's a very, very technical guy.
Well, yeah, he's more on the
So
technical side, let's say, but with
he's
your
really behind the scenes, just
yeah, yeah,
working on
yeah.
the practical things. I guess, uh, honestly, I feel like more than the Poon, it's more like someone like BTMC, for example, who is
Hmm.
still active in making content, more or less,
Yeah, let's
but
say.
really just working on other community things with the goal of increasing the community
Yeah,
by a
yeah,
larger margin than
yeah,
what can be done with a single event. Let's say.
yeah.
Let's keep it very vague.
Yeah, let's keep it like that. Let's keep it like that. Let's say that. What I do want to ask you is, what are your thoughts on like I don't know how you've been following also content creation in general, but what do you think of like the current scene and what's been happening so far? Because some people claim that oh, also content is like dead or like something like that, but like
Oh, it's dead.
it's
Oh.
dead. But like I don't know. I'm like I've also uploaded a video recently. I think it's like quite the opposite. I think it's like in a pretty good position at the moment, and it's getting even better and better by the day. But I want to know your thoughts on this topic specifically.
So the thing is, people have been saying Osu is dead for at least 5 years now,
Yeah,
and it's not really happening. I mean, I know that, like, from a purely numerical standpoint, yes, there is less players than COVID. Shocker. But
who would have thought?
in reality, there is a lot of things being made in the community every single day. And I believe, if I recall correctly, now don't quote me on this, but I think 2025 and 2026 uh, are the years where the most amount of bitmaps are being made. So there's a lot of
I
content being made in the game.
Yeah, I don't know to be fair. I haven't checked on that on like the mapping scene and specifically like mapping stats as of recent to be fair. So
I'm pretty sure the trend for maps is going up. There's more and more content being made. It's just that most people pay attention to the controversial maps or the PP maps, for example. And so there's always
yeah,
this impression that there's a very few maps out there and it's only those ones that you see posted on Reddit because somebody got a ridiculous score or whatever. And
yep.
the same exact thing goes for IRL events. So, of course, COE is kind of like standing at the top of the hill. We all know that it's that yearly event. Every year it's getting better, and every year it's getting more and more popular in terms of raw numbers. But for example, there's a lot of more IRL events like Kel is one of them, which I
Kel,
mentioned earlier,
the
but
round
also the
table,
UK,
the
the
round table.
Roundtable, of course. There's
Yeah,
the Epic Land hosted by Bubbleman.
yeah, Epic
A
Clan.
lot. There's even the Russian also event,
Oh,
actually.
what was it called again? Moe, basically like Moscow
MOE,
also
yeah,
event. Yeah,
Moscow's event, yeah. And a lot, like a plethora of local lands that maybe
there's loads
you
of them.
guys don't really know about, but they are happening. And so the actual strong core of the community is alive and well. And I think the game is still doing well. Now, is it thriving as much as it was doing before? maybe not. I don't know if there is as many new players coming in, but I really don't think it's on its deathbed, and
Oh, not
it's
anytime.
still doing.
Yeah, not anytime soon. Especially with like the recent. I mean, you've probably seen it already. The also ranked feature, like
Yeah, yeah, I
that.
did.
Yeah, that brought a lot of players back into the game. I don't know if you've noticed the peak of like players. If it was previously like let's say 12 or 13k, it's like let's say by 3 or 4k players more now. So it has
Yeah,
increased like by daily peaks. Let's say.
yeah, and also the Osu World Cup, by the way, it's
Yeah.
every year it gets more and more unbelievable with the featured artists and the all the maps that are made and the production value and the
Yeah,
viewership. I
yeah.
mean, the story. I mean, we all saw what happened with Poland last year.
Yeah, absolute
Now
cinema, dude.
Australia, like everything is looking fantastic. But
But
but you content creators are lazy. That's the truth.
what?
Because there is so many people, so many players, so many aspiring content creators who don't want to put in the effort to actually make videos consistently. Okay? And this is something that I said multiple times to social media. In real life, whenever I go to some IRL event and someone gets next to me and says, "Oh, can you give me some tips on how to make content?" Make content.
Just
Start doing it.
yeah, just make the goddamn thing, bro.
Make the video, bruh. Just cook. Do it.
Yeah, start cooking. Start cooking.
Get to
So
it.
so you think that also content creators should start making stuff like that you think that those are like a ton of stuff to be made, and I honestly I do agree with that. I've had this opinion for a pretty long time, but until we see actually people making that, we can't say for sure, you know.
Yeah, no, it's so obviously I really oversimplified it just for the sake of the clickbait. Feel free to use that for a title. Spazza, you are all lazy. Osu content is alive. But
Yeah,
okay, so I obviously understand that in order to make content, you can't just live off of passion, okay? So I understand people who argue, why would I spend so much time just making a video, editing a video, doing X, Y, Z, and then at the end I get 5,000 views. Like who cares? Like that's like zero money, zero incentive, and I think that's a very sad way of looking at things because I mean for years I just made content. I didn't really care about money, and that's how you. I mean, it. I think now I don't know if I'm being too idealistic, but I think you should be driven by passion more than anything else. So
yeah.
if you really have that desire to make content, that burning fire, then you are gonna do it because that's what you enjoy doing. But many people they don't seem to think that way. They just want to hyper optimize, and they would much rather make whatever osu short that's gonna get 10 million views and oh big number, but then it has no staying power
I
in the
mean,
actual community.
to be fair, you can still grow an audience with like shorts, but it has to be, specifically made in a way that it's actual content, it's not just like random mapless lop, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. But I really think there is a lot of people I know who have potential because I know they have the persistency because they stream every day. They interact, for example, with their chats or whatever, but they are just too stuck in their ways. They don't make clips,
Like
which
they,
is ridiculous. Like, how are
oh,
you gonna
yeah,
grow a community on Twitch without clips?
yep, absolutely.
It, it's
And to be fair, I'm kind of struggling with that as well. But to be fair, I'm kind of focused more on like the YouTube making side and like actually Twitch streaming. I just casually do streams that from time to time, not always.
I just think it's absolutely doable. There's a very defeatist mentality going around in the also content sphere where people say, it's not like it used to be. Yeah, you can no longer just make Twitch highlights and and expect to grow, but it's not really true. You just have to do it more consistently, because unfortunately we live in a very algorithmic social
Yeah,
media
yeah,
landscape,
absolutely.
and so you are very much forced to produce a lot more content than before, and many people give up before even trying.
Yep.
And for me, for example, again, I, I, I'm being self-referential because I went through this, so I know what it means, right? But in 2024, where the community was already laying down, we were already way past the glory of COVID and way past all the things that happened previously. In 2024, that's when I started actually making content full time with actual effort. So making clips every day, editing clips every day, streaming every day. And even though it was the old 2024, I was way past my glory days as a player. I was already as rusty as I am today.
Hmm.
That was my most successful year as a content creator, simply because I was there producing the content for people,
Yeah,
and people were there,
yeah,
and the
it's.
growth was exponential. So all it takes is just effort, consistency, persistency, and patience.
Oh
You
yeah.
can't expect to make money. You can't expect to become rich. If that's what you want to do, go make a short channel where you play whichever song is viral on Instagram so you'll get 10 million views. If you actually care about the community, just be patient and start working on videos,
Yeah,
and you'll see
I
success.
think consistency is one of the most underrated factors when it comes to content that a lot of people I think like doubt or not even consider. Like posting clips like as you said every single day or maybe not even every single day, every single other day, every third day, doesn't matter. Just having some sort of schedule can definitely bring a certain audience. They will know exactly when you will upload and they will come to that video regardless of like um what you've I mean there has to be something interesting of course, but that consistency factor is definitely important to bringing your audience back to those videos, at least
Yeah, and
from personal experience, from what I know.
yeah, and it's not even like, even stepping outside of the YouTube sphere, I actually, it's mind-boggling, because there are so many great players nowadays who also have a good personality, but they're just lazy. They don't upload. They don't put in the effort. They just stream on Twitch,
Yeah,
and they get however many viewers they have, and then that's it. They don't, many times they don't even save votes, and it's like, how do you expect any growth?
without like a
Like,
VODs channel or anything, or just like saving them on your Twitch as well. Like that's also an option.
it's ridiculous. You just, like, those people, they need to get on the ball, dude. Get
for,
on it.
for real, man, for real. But would you? I mean, you did mention shorts, but I think you've noticed that there's also like, at like some informational also shorts channels as of recently. You can maybe say. I mean, Overstream also is a new one. I don't know if you've seen it. They're the channel from Vixius, that Minecraft YouTuber that I told you. What do you think of that, by the way? Like those types of videos, informational shorts.
I think there's only one guy who can make those, and that guy is looking at me in the eyes right now.
Nah, 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 nah. I wouldn't. I mean, I quite literally got inspired by that person that I just mentioned to make those types of videos. So I can't really say that I've completely earned the the
The
the
prestige.
the prestige to make those types of videos. But yeah, you get the point.
No, I think it's an interesting branch of content, and I think it exists in nearly every community nowadays. So it's good to do it, because in the end, it's kind of like, it's conceptually very easy. It's not rocket science, but that's exactly why it works, because it's something
Yeah,
that people seek. So, for example, instead of going on r/osugame and reading up on a bunch of things, you can probably take that same information, condense it in 30 seconds, make a short, and then get the information out there that way. So
yeah. Too many
that's totally
people.
fine. I think it's a good way a good thing to add to the content landscape around Osu, sure.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I do agree with you. There's loads and loads of people that sometimes don't even know like basic facts about those two. Like, I don't know, the rank zero player, if you remember. Like, I made a recently a video about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Saturos. Like, those types of facts are not really known to like new gen players. So that can be definitely a thing to explore in terms of content, as well as like this is like the third time I'm mentioning, but like clipping content in the form of like the daily dose of videos, if you know what I mean, with at least some
Hmm.
commentary. For some reason that is missing in the also community, and for some reason that is like one of the easiest things to do, yet nobody is doing it at the moment.
Well, I think the best way to do it would be having something like Gloomshot where it automates it.
I mean,
Because,
yeah, but you can't really monetize that type of channel because YouTube will hit you with the what was the reused content policy, because you can't reuse clips from other creators unless you like add something transformative into it, mainly commentary, by the way. That's like why, let's say, the Dose of Internet does like commentary before every single clip. It's falls under transformative content.
well, for Osu, I imagine that like I know that there's clips being made, but again, those would be very hard to find. So if so, Gloomshot, the whole thing was it was basically this bot that scraped those clips from each day with the most amount of views and just put them one after the other in essence. So
Yeah,
that was kind of like a compilation of whatever was happening during the week,
yeah.
which was pretty interesting, I think, as a concept. And I'm sure nowadays with technological advancements, you can probably, like, even if it's relatively soulless, you can still maybe have a bot like that that just scrapes all those clips and then just have an AI voice that says, this is, you know,
Yeah.
fucking
Nah.
Zootinator about to break the block because she plays Minecraft nowadays.
Nah.
But you get, you know what I mean,
I
right?
mean, to be fair, for like a couple of clips, you can probably record like a 4 or 5 second reaction, if you know what I mean. You can probably do that. Like, it doesn't take that
I
much
would
effort.
hope so.
I mean, I hope so.
It goes back to people being lazy. You see, I hope someone does it.
Yeah,
Could be
I
fun.
do. I do. I would really like to do see like some that type of content as well. Yeah. Okay. I have an interesting question. I don't know how. Wait, how much do you play games nowadays? By the way, like rhythm
I
games,
don't
let's
really
say.
play a whole lot of games, to be honest. The only games that I play are the ones I mentioned. So those will be Osu Taiko, Taiko no Tatsujin, and hopefully soon I can get back into Beat Saber with the Steam frame. But that's really about all I play. I'm not really a big
Mm-hmm.
gamer.
But if you were to play one of those games, and if we didn't include also standard, which one would you play like forever? In only one game, by the way.
Well, forever is hard because right now, if you asked me that question 5 years ago, I would have said Osu, but you never really know when you're gonna get bored of a game. I feel like I'm at that point now with Osu Standard where I feel like I've achieved so many things. I don't really have, I not have any stimulation to really
Yeah, the motivation
play
to
Osu
do anything
Standard anymore.
else. Yeah.
So let's not say forever, but let's say if I could only play one game for the next 5 years or 10
Yeah.
years,
Which one would it be?
I'd say that will definitely be, oh man, I've probably also Taiko
Also Taiko?
because
Okay.
it's a very great game and it's got a crazy skill ceiling.
Ooh.
So now, for reference, at the moment, and this is not some type of flex, I'm just giving you a point of reference. I'm
Mm-hmm.
currently ranked 2,700 in Taiko, and I'm not even I can't even touch someone who's ranked like 1,000 and something because the level of skill is so much different because all
Is it
the
that
patterns
big?
are much longer and more complex. The level of consistency required, and let's not get started. 3 digits, they are practically aliens.
Oh
Three
god.
digits, and 2 digits, like 1 digits, they are DTing stuff that a 4 digit FCs on no mod.
That's how big the difference is. God damn.
It's unfathomable.
It's
Any Taiko players in the comments, help me, because I don't know how to explain Shinchi Kuhome to another human being. Like,
Damn.
there are people who death stream, and I mean death stream,
Uh-huh.
400 BPM with
What?
accuracy.
What?
It's unbelievable,
Oh,
man.
damn, the Taiko community gotta be analyzed, man. What? That
Taiko
is.
is crazy.
Yeah, Taiko is definitely. I mean, to be fair, I've seen some really crazy clips. Single tapping in Taiko is like a really interesting thing to me. That is like so weird to me. Like, how
It's pretty.
the.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun
Yeah,
though.
yeah. What's your. This is an interesting question, but like, what's your thoughts on like the current state of Laser with like the new ranked mode and everything like that?
So it's kind of hard for me because I don't really play that actively. So uh, for me personally, I don't think Laser is in a bad state. I played it quite a bit, but I can't. I feel like I can't really feel the minutia, the little differences, subtle differences that maybe an active top player can really feel.
Mm-hmm.
So something very interesting about it is a clip that was recently uploaded by Bubbleman on his clips channel.
I think he had a rant or something about like the aim and also laser, if I'm not mistaken, but I didn't watch the video. I think I just saw like the thumbnail and title.
Yeah, so uh, it's almost like some people think there is a bit of a difference between how aiming feels on laser versus stable. And I know that to an extent that's going to be placebo. Maybe you're not used to it, however you want to go for it. But that is something quite interesting, because how are you going to convert thousands of players who are still unstable, especially at the higher levels, if their aim feels somewhat off? It's an interesting, very interesting topic in my opinion. But for me, I don't really feel that difference because I'm not that active. So whenever I log on to Laser, I don't necessarily feel any delays or whatever. So to me, Laser is pretty good. I like it because it's got that um, way more forgiving note lock, which is what
Yeah,
it was supposed to be. You're not supposed
absolutely.
to miss one note during a stream and just die. So at the very least, I like it for that. Obviously, I like it because it's got the ranked mode now, which is very cool to look at.
Yep.
But I still think it's a bit too needlessly complicated. Maybe the UI is not very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pretty seasoned Osu player by now, and even I get confused by a lot of things. So I don't know if this is a Zoomer diff. Maybe a young person, a 15-year-old just opens up Osu Laser and immediately gets it. But I'm completely like, it's way too many things, way too many buttons, way too many complications. I think
Yeah,
it needs to be slimmed down a bit.
yeah. I would agree with that because like I'm not really that old of a player, but like not even that new, if you know what I mean. I'm like somewhere in between, let's say, but like even I get like sometimes overwhelmed by the amount of like stats and stuff that gets shown on like Osu maps, scores, and everything related to that and laser. Especially like after you complete a map. I think you've seen like how it like when you expand the score, it kinda, like gives you a ton of analytic stuff that you most of the time don't even know what the fuck it means.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, at the moment, it's still not very easy to customize. So I
Yeah.
know a lot of people, they would switch to laser tomorrow if they introduce skinning. So the final thought was, I think laser is good. I think you can play on it and it doesn't really give many problems. You can even get PP from it. So by
Mm-hmm.
all means, you can fully switch to it if you wish. But to me, it's still a bit too cyberpunk,
Uh huh.
too many things. It's not really
You.
as simple and as straightforward as stable.
Uh huh. So you think they should be slim it down a bit with like the stuff it has at the moment.
I think so. I think so.
Okay. Yeah. That is. I think that's something that a lot of people would agree with the current state of Laser, to be fair. I mean, even I agree, to be fair. As someone who also uses Laser as like their main client at the moment, I fully switched to Laser for a while now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so what are your thoughts on like, I don't know. Okay, to be fair, I don't know what's your like thoughts on like the mapping community at the moment, like the aim swap and stuff. Let's say that. Do you think that okay, do you think that like the PP system is more in the wrong, or do you think that the mapping community is more in the wrong with like the current PP situation, let's say?
I think for a long time now, mappers have made it their duty to just farm controversy instead of making good maps.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've got some people whose entire mapping experience relates to making these aim slop maps and then flexing because their maps get a lot of play count when that's obviously what's going to happen because you are exploiting the system, right?
Yeah.
Now there has been a lot of dramas in regards to the mapping community because BNs are doing this and they're trying to maybe unrank certain maps which are clearly low effort. But we are starting to argue about the freedom of expression and all those things, which are to me are just completely ridiculous because obviously it's just terrible maps and mappers know it, but they play semantics and they do whatever. So to me, many mappers they just act like little children, and they want the attention, and that's what they do. Which is very sad because I actually have a lot of respect for mappers, by the way. I think obviously mappers make
Yeah.
the maps that players enjoy and they like to play, but I just feel like there's fewer people in the mainstream spotlight of the OSU community who are known for making great maps. So, for example, like if you go next to someone who's a 5 or 6 digit and ask them what their favorite mapper is, they will probably say, you know, Guy X who made uh, Slop map. Whereas if you go next to a tournament player, maybe they will say, hey, uh, Melon makes great maps, like those Nomad 1 maps, or, all the current landscape of mappers that's happening right now that's maybe more busy making those very hyper specific things.
Yeah, yeah, I do know what you mean. And to be fair, I think also has a lot more tools that can be utilized for maps that can drive the game a bit more creatively, if you know what I mean. I mean, look at Geometry Dash, for example, with the 2.2 update that they got. That completely changed the way, people started to make levels. And it wasn't just, hard levels that they started to make. They started to make like cool decorative type levels as well. So like I think like if mappers start to make more maps that are not just focused on like hyper optimizing for like PP farming. Ooh, look, big number go big, crazy. I think
It's
if
gonna
it,
get nerfed anyway. That's the thing.
yeah, that as well.
The aim slop meta is going down, my friends.
Yeah,
So to all of you, I'm so sorry. Time to play real maps.
yeah. I mean, that's what I wanted to say. Like, if mappers started to make more maps that are like artistically creative, maybe a bit more, I think that could like change a bit more as to like the perspective of the game and not just be always like competitive, if you know what I mean. But like specifically that is a well balance of like good gameplay and also something that looks cool, let's say. I mean, from what I've heard, I think Aspire is also coming back pretty soon. That's gonna be really cool if that comes back. I hope that I'm correct about that.
Oh, that's pretty cool if Aspire comes back. But in general, there are some fantastic maps which get the attention, but there are a lot of underrated ones which unfortunately don't. So
Yeah.
I don't really know how to balance that, or if there is a way to balance that. Obviously, in an ideal world, high quality maps wouldn't just have that one Malishevsky score and then
Yep, yep.
you know
Those who stole, bro. Those who know.
but that's kind of the way it goes. And I still think you can build up a reputation as a great mapper uh, if you make unique maps that challenge players in less traditional ways. Hollow Wings comes to mind, of course,
Yep, yep.
and you can definitely do that. But there is a place for PP mappers. I think, like, regardless of all the stuff I said earlier about them acting like little children, I still think there should be PP maps, I guess, for those players who enjoy those things, but we shouldn't just ignore all the rest, in essence.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. But okay, so this is the closing part of the interview, and as I always do with always all guests, is there anything you want to promote, say at the end? The stage is yours, bro.
So I think the only real thing that comes to mind is the silicon case. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You
I'm
gotta
just
be
kidding.
prepared, bro. Gotta be prepared. No way.
I had that on the quick stand right there.
Yep.
So okay, Stu, I'm very sorry about this because I believe you're not going to be attending, but I really, really have to say this, guys. Guys, look at me in the eyes right now. COE 2026 is going to be unbelievable because this is shaping up to be one of the best, if not the best ever, in terms of the people who are going to be attending. Because it's going to be a lot of people who always go, but there's also a lot of new names coming. So, just to name one, Lifeline,
Cinema.
Zootinator,
Oh. 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 Oh.
a lot of big international names which never stepped foot on Dutch soil are coming over to COE, and it's going to be a fantastic time because obviously you can hang around and just have fun with all of us and make new friends and experience the community in a more direct way. But it's also, the event is growing a lot. The way it's organized, it's getting better each year. From a purely entertainment standpoint, the tournament is gonna be nuts with all those players.
Absolutely.
So the emotions, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing just being there. And last but not least, I am working on a big project which will be revealed at COE.
No
So
way. No way.
you
Pause.
guys, you guys, you better be coming to COE and you will be part of Osu history. That's all I can say.
Oh my god. That is some crazy info drop right there. I'll be watching for sure. I mean, from the stream, of course. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend COE 2026, but I will be watching. I will be watching. That's for sure.
Start saving up, get your flights. It can be done, everybody. Come to COE 2026. I'll be waiting.
Hell yeah. So is that pretty much it? Or is there anything else you want to say as well?
Osu never dies, everybody. So
Hell yeah.
keep going, keep believing in yourselves, uh, achieve your goals, whether it's gameplay stuff or mapping or tournaments or content. I believe in all of you. You can make the community great again. Not that it's not great now, but we can make it even greater and bring it to new heights. Let's do it.
Absolutely, man. I love that message. Okay, so that's pretty much it with the interview. All I gotta say is again, thank you everybody for watching. If you want to check out Spazza's socials, although he's maybe not active on YouTube, I'll still leave them in the description.
Well, I'm just saying, I might be inactive on social media, but if you want to see my face every day, every week, you can always just follow the Wooting social media channels. I'm just saying. So maybe put those in the description
I'll put
because
those in the
I'm
description.
there.
Okay,
I
sure.
work there, damn it.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'll put them there. I'll put them there. Anyways. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.